Hey guys, what's going on? It's Flip, and today I'm reviewing The Chinese Boxer, one of my all-time favorite martial arts movies, starring the great Jimmy Wang Yu. And this is 88 Films' second Region A and Region B release. They started putting out stuff in the U.S. market. Their first one being Gestapo's Last Orgy, but that's not my type of thing. But this is very much my type of thing. Right away, I gotta say the artwork by Kung Fu Baba Brian is incredible. It's might be my favorite work of his. Well, at least I thought so until I saw the Legendary Weapons of China art, which got announced. I think maybe last week is when we saw the artwork finally, and that artwork is incredible. I think that's his best work yet. But I'm gonna give a little bit of a brief review of the movie. I'm gonna talk briefly about the history of the movie, what I think about Jimmy Wang Yu specifically, and the overall package. So Jim Wang Yu is my Bruce Lee. He's my Jackie Chan. A lot of people love Jackie Chan and Bruce Lee and they adore them, and I do too. But the guy that I love, the movies that I go back to and revisit all the time, are Jimmy Wang Yu movies. And Jimmy Wang Yu, I think, needs to get the credit that he truly deserves. And I don't think he does, at least here in the West. Without this movie, we wouldn't have Bruce Lee. This movie inspired Bruce Lee, and without Bruce Lee, we wouldn't have the martial arts, the kung fu films here in the West like we do. And so I think this movie laid a lot of groundwork that often gets forgotten. And Jimmy Wang Yu he isn't like a fully trained martial artist either, and I think that's one of his pros and one of his cons. I think as much as I love him, he can't throw a good kick. I mean, well, he can't he can't perform a good kick. When he kicks, sometimes it's a little laughable. But he brings his physicality that I just don't think any of his contemporaries really bring. And from what I've read and from what I've done research on, he used to get into street fights all the time, so he had a little bit of a temper. But I think he takes that and brings it to the screen. And this came out in 1970, so this came 4 years after One Armed Swordsman, which was directed by Chang Che, and spawned a sequel starring Jin Wang Yu, and then they reboot with a whole new actor. But yeah, so that was the first. A lot of people consider the One Armed Swordsman to be the first film at the Hong Kong box office to make $1 million Hong Kong dollars. Whether that's true or not, it was still a massive success. Launched Jin Wang Yu into massive stardom all across Asia. I mean, he even got his own movie with Shintaro Katsu and Zatoichi versus the One Armed Swordsman, my favorite of all the Zatoichi films. So he was beloved everywhere, and he was also a fan of Japanese cinema too. And I think he brings some of that fandom from other genres, from other countries, and he brings it here. So, he's the biggest star of Shaw at the time. One Armed Swordsman. He had a bunch of hits even before One Armed Swordsman, like Trail of the Broken Blade. And he really wanted to be a director, and so he wrote, directed, and starred in this movie. But every step along the way, Shaw didn't want him to. They didn't want him to do it for some reason. So he fought tooth and nail. And even though he was the biggest star, he still was an underdog. They didn't have faith in him. And what he ended up creating with the Chinese Boxer is, like I said, one of the most important kung fu films of all time. And it laid the groundwork. And then it's a beautiful film as well. The restoration that 88 Films has done here, I don't know if it says, yeah, original 35 millimeter negatives. It's just gorgeous. This film, especially in the snow scenes, are just insanely beautiful. There are some really good fight scenes. Jin Wei Yu, as much as I love him, he can't really throw a kick. He's not very good at kicks, and some of them are a little laughable. But like I said, he was a little bit of a street fighter. He had a temper to him, and he brings that physicality to his fights. And the way that he directs the fights are still hold up very, very well. I have a massive Shaw collection. Actually, underneath the camera view, I have over 100 Shaw Brothers DVDs. I'm a massive fan of that studio, and a lot of the wuxia stuff. If you're not already a fan of wuxia, you're not, especially early stuff. A lot of it doesn't hold up very well. For me, someone who loves that stuff, it does hold up in my eyes, but for newcomers, I could see that not holding up very well. This holds up extremely, extremely well, and it's a ton of fun. I have watched this twice since getting it. I've watched it once just by itself, and then I watched it once with a commentary, which is by film journalist Sam Deegum. And then you also get open hand combat interview with journalist David West, Wong Ching at Shaw, and an interview with Wong Ching by Frederick Ambrosine. and Hammer of God TV spot US, Hammer of God trailer, Hong Kong trailer, English trailer, and you also get reversible sleeve. I'm just reading all the special features. You get a reversible sleeve. You can have this artwork on it. But when I do these, when I have the slipcover, I like to choose the original Hong Kong poster, which these posters were amazing. And sadly, his relationship with Shaw, with them trying to stop him at every step of the way to make this movie, soured their relationship. But I'm glad it kind of did, because he left and we got some incredible films. We got One Armed Boxer, we got Master of the Flying Guillotine, Beach of the War Gods, which I still think is the best Seven Samurais ripoff out there. Out of all of them, it's like half a Seven Samurai ripoff, and then it goes into just a complete bloodbath, and I love that movie. But Jin Wei Yu is a very special actor. He's still alive. And I'm really glad that 88 Films decided to release this and give this treatment, because this is easily one of the best movies, one of the best releases of 2021. And like I said, the transfer was mind blowing. Like, very rarely when I see a transfer of these movies, am I just blown away. But this one truly did it for me. I thought this was great. Uh, Go pick this up. This is in for the price too, $20. You get a poster, you get a booklet. The booklet's great as well. But for $20, I think it's $20 on Amazon. Get this, or don't support Amazon. Go to Orbit, go to Diabolic, or buy from 88 Films' website directly. You guys must. This is a must-have, must-buy of 2021. And I'm Flip. I'll see you guys next time, and I will be reviewing everything that you guys see here. I just started the Cinematic Vengeance Trilogy set tonight. I have watched almost all the films. I'm going to rewatch it with the commentaries, watch the special features, and then review it. Got a review for True Romance coming. And then I will be talking in depth about the Once Upon a Time in China release from Criterion, because I have some, so I have some thoughts about it. But yeah, pick this up, guys. Incredible release. One of the best things of 2021. One of the most important movies in Kung Fu and martial arts. And I'm so glad to own this in a nice HD version. See you guys next time.